Hey, good morning, everybody. Peggy Berryhill here, along with Mark Gross. It's a new season. We are now live in the studio with those who are willing to come in. We are unmasked today, and that's might be even a topic we're going to talk about later. I'm Peggy Berryhill, and you can partially see Mark Gross. What are we going to, Mark? You need to move in a little bit here. Maybe I'll need to move over a little bit. This is KGUA in Wallala, 88.3 FM. Our wing woman, Leanne Lindsay, is in the background, making sure we're getting together here. I still am hogging the scene here, Mark. You gotta
be like the center of attention.
I know. Well, you're almost in. Get in a little bit. Yeah, all right. Everybody wants to see.
There you go. Social gathering over here.
I know.
We're breaking some rules over here.
Uh-oh. Well,
but it's you and me.
We're not
breaking
rules. Just don't breathe.
I won't.
And we'll be fine. Actually, I'm going to get a mask, a full face mask from Mark. No. All right. KGUA Writers is on the air for the first time in so long. This is where we started out here going live with our wonderful friend, Mark Gross, who's a wonderful writer. Also below us, around our feet somewhere, you can't see the fabulous Wolf is here as well. And let me tell you something about the weather. Well, I don't believe this, but the Weather Underground says it's 59 degrees in Wallala. Oh, bye, Leanne. I don't believe it's 59 degrees outside. Mark, you just came in from a run.
I just came for a run and I dressed for 52 degrees. And
who's that? Is that your phone?
Spam
on your phone.
I think that's the radio station calling in. They want you on the air nationally right now. They saw you on YouTube. And they're saying, whoa, what a beautiful woman. And they were talking about you, by the way. Yeah, it's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. Where is our YouTube channel? I'm not seeing our wing woman. I'm not seeing the YouTube channel, but I don't need to see it, but usually we see it. Anyway, it's somewhere in the mid 50s. This is June. I am wearing corduroys. I am wearing 2 layers. It's June on the coast. If you live outside the Mendocino coast, if you live outside most coasts, outside California, except Southern California, now I'm really qualifying, but it's probably summer. You're probably enjoying warm weather and you're saying, what are they doing wearing corduroys, T-necks, vests, and all of these clothes? Because it's cold here because of the winds that are just crazy. And especially if you live in the Redwood area, you have to watch out because redwoods throw off branches. And they're not little bitty branches. They're like branches. They come zooming through the air.
You're too young to remember this song, but
thank
baby,
you.
It's cold outside.
See, this is why we have this guy here, because he's so kind and so refreshing. All right, Mark, we better get moving here. I am supposed to announce to you that Art at the Source is back, and I think they're going to be open studios. Really? We're going back to open studios June 5th through 6th. Well, that was last weekend. I didn't even know that. And this upcoming weekend. So look it up online, all one word, artatthesource.org. West Business Development Center is now doing something.
They're doing online workshops.
Oh, okay.
And they're really awesome. It's all volunteer. I was talking to them about the websites, and they're doing online workshops to help you navigate through. If you haven't talked to West Business Development, they're really an awesome group of people that are out there to help the community. So check them out. You have the website, right?
We have the website up, and also there says COVID funding opportunities. Well, we'd sure love to find those. But this is their newsletter from June 1st through the 15th. Visit our webpage, West Development Center. I think it's westcompany.org.
Westcompany.org. Yeah, they're awesome. I've had some conversations with them on trying to develop the businesses and talking about writing opportunities, and
Ah.
just all volunteer experts, and they're just wonderful.
They are wonderful. And then the last bit of news before we get officially into KGUA Writers is, if you have been wondering, we are still tallying the money that keeps coming in from our one-day fund drive. And we have made it up to 28,000 something. Thank you so much, because we needed 40,000, but 28,000 is fantastic. And of course, the minute we do that, a good portion of that is going to go right to work in our transmitter building. Our engineer said, great. Our broadcast engineer, he says, great, I need to replace A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What? Well, we got the money,
So
just
A,
do
B,
it.
C, D, E, F, G is 5 or 6 into 28. So where are you going to get the rest of the money? That only covers A, B, C.
It does.
Wow.
I know. Well, no, we're up to about D. But
Okay,
you know,
we're
it
up to
has to
about
be, it
D.
has to be done.
And
It
your
has to be done.
salary is at Z?
Z. Yes.
Z.
Z.
0.
0. Leanne, 2. Well, we have some great thoughts coming our way. We have some wonderful people who are trying to help us out, developing some better plans. And anyway, we're just continuing to bring you great programming. We're already 7 minutes into the hour.
Speaking
and
of
we have to
KGUA
get-
Writers,
Yes, sir.
are we ready?
Yeah,
Okay,
as ready as we can be for you, Mark.
I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to start you off.
Oh, no. Now, see,
Dear
surprise.
Dear Peggy, dear me, my name is Peggy, and I love myself because
Oh, now, you know, I'm going to do the cop out. Every single one of our writers said, I can't do this. I
right,
would love
and then what's the second part of that?
because I have struggled and persevered.
And here you are,
And here I are.
and you love yourself
I love myself.
because there were years you didn't.
Thank you, therapist. Yes, there are years.
Were there years you didn't love yourself?
I think that there were years I had no idea who I was.
Ah,
I can actually remember a point when I was, you know, and it's no secret, and I'm talking about becoming unmasked. You know, this past weekend, I made an announcement on Facebook that I'm 35 years clean and sober. Now, if you're
you
not an
started
alcoholic,
drinking at 2?
yeah, some people do, sadly,
Oh,
or in the womb. No, I actually, we're not going to go into my whole story, but the point of this is that, you know, people like me do that because it helps those people who are struggling and who think that there is no future. And when all
Oh.
you're doing is you're down as deep and down as you can go, and you can't see any way out of it, and there is hope. And it's important, I think, for people like me. Used to be people wanted to be totally anonymous because, well, what if I said I'm 35 years and then suddenly, for some reason, that I was insane and went back down? People would say, oh, see, that stuff doesn't work. Well, there's, you know, listen, I'll say right here, if it's ever found, if I ever die and it's because I have drank, somebody murdered me, because that's not
Well-
going to happen. But, you know, but the point is that it's important to let people know that you can change. So the love letter to myself is, I had the courage and enough pain to want to change.
I
And
love
you
that.
don't do it, doesn't come easy.
We were talking before the show about pride, and it's so, and masks, everything is just so bashing together. And I will say, based on what you said, don't worry about taking big steps. Take a
Yeah.
baby step, because people who take a baby step have become the pioneers. And there is somebody behind you who really appreciates your baby step. I can do that. I can do that. One baby step, and take that baby step and be a pioneer.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's-
So let's get to today's
One
show.
thing else I will say about the love letter: don't ever apologize for being your authentic self, even if it hurts somebody else on your journey.
That's a tough one now.
It's a very tough one.
because, well, we're not going to get into all that. We want to listen to our writers,
All right,
but
love
I think we've
letters.
done it.
Love-
Love letters.
Everybody said, oh my goodness, like Peggy did a love letter to myself. That's so weird. And they were pouring in. So why don't you start? You want to read?
It, what happened to our love letters? I've lost our love letters. Where'd our love letters go? How weird. Let me, sorry, why don't you, yeah,
I'm
okay, let's go ahead and read. And
I'm going
I'll
to
reset
start.
our love letters. I don't
I'm
know
going
what
to
happened
start, and
them.
I want to welcome Daphne Watson, a new writer from Yuba City, who sent me a note this morning. And how unusual this note, right, Peggy? I'm late to the party, but I'm still submitting for accountability. You're not late because I woke up really early, Daphne, and thank you for writing and joining us with a love letter to yourself from Daphne Watson. Hi, Daphne, she writes, reflecting on love, absolute love for myself, love on my best days, love on my worst days, love in every day. I believe that love is one of the most powerful forces out there. Love can transcend time, space, life, and death. Love is the energy behind the creation of so many things. A few things I love about you unapologetically: my belly fat that likes to hold on, charcuterie boards, any hands-on projects to dive into, being quirky and loving my quirks, being a light that brightens up a room, spending frivolous amounts of money on good food, fabrics to sew, and makeup, loving my fierceness and determination to say, no, F off, if something that doesn't feel right in the gut, not being afraid to walk my own path and create a new way, rediscovering my creative side, loving the acne scars and the hyperpigmentation from all these damn masks, loving all earth colors, loving the fact that I have multiple favorite colors, loving how far I've come in my journey, and remembering to love myself along the way. Yours truly, Daphne. I love that.
Daphne, I loved all of that too. And where is Daphne from again?
Daphne is from Yuba City.
Wow,
Daphne was
Daphne.
writing for the Mendocino Art Center. She is a fierce, wonderful, bright light. And I love her, any hands-on project to dive into. Oh, I love that. If we made a list of all those hands-on projects. And I love loving the fact that I have multiple favorite colors. And I love the fact that Daphne wrote a love letter to herself.
You know, I love, we got another new writer, and we have some writers we haven't heard from in a while. And you know what I've noticed is that most of our male writers do audio.
Most of the male writers do audio, and that's right. And we can talk about that because I think, is anybody listening?
No, go ahead. Tell me.
I think that these male writers have an unlived fantasy of being a disc jockey. They grew up with Murray the K and Casey Kasem and Edward R. Murrow, any kind of broadcast. And I think they want to be a disc jockey.
A disc jockey.
I can hear it. And now this morning, coming from York, Maine, this is Dan Rothermel. or it's the quiet moment.
It's a quiet moment
with David Stoloff.
Well, let's find out who this is. Well, I think that letter was the icing on the cake, don't you?
Dream about your icings.
I knew it. Dream about your
Dream.
icings.
So that's a true story, by the way. I was 21, and 21 was a long time ago. And Barry was studying in Europe for a year, and I hadn't heard from him. He said, "Why don't you meet me?" And I hadn't heard from him. He said, "Pick a date in May or June and meet me." And he sent me another note saying, "But can you bring me a chocolate fudge cake from Trudy's in West Paterson, New Jersey?" I said, "Yeah." And on the date we arrived, I packed up and flew TWA to Zurich, Switzerland, carrying the cake. I was 21.
He was in Zurich?
He was studying in England, and we said, "Let's meet in
Ah.
Zurich." And I hadn't talked to him in months, but we just knew there was this, we're going to do this. And we're going to do this. And he was late in Zurich. He wasn't there for the flight. I'm saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm in Zurich. I'm 21. What do I do? I have a chocolate cake." And all of a sudden I see him running down the corridor in an Emerson, Lake and Palmer t-shirt. And he said, "Where's the cake?"
No welcome, just where's the cake?
And we had cake in the airport.
Oh, how cool. Well, thank you for that.
50 years ago.
50 years. Oh my goodness. Let's how about Aniko? You want to read Aniko or do you want me to?
I don't know, Aniko. Is that the one that we always start with?
Wait a minute, where is that?
Oh, it's
It's not Zurich.
no, it's good morning,
Aniko? Good morning, Budapest.
Budapest.
All right, Aniko. My dear, I have long wanted, I don't know, maybe this should be in a man's voice. This is,
Oh, my dear.
thank you. I have long wanted to write down these lines for you. We always rush. We don't have time for each other. Now, please take some time for our relationship. We have been together for over 50 years. Our relationship has faded a bit. Sometimes we avoid each other. We're not always honest. In this rushed world, we try to meet everyone's expectations and meanwhile forget about each other. I believe that this can be changed if we really work on it. Please take time for each other as we have been a safe point for each other for so long. I love when you think about the themes of the KGUA Writers because we can be together until then. Even if you don't always write, the topics are always there in your head, and so we have the opportunity to communicate with each other. Slow down a bit and be together. I think we should be aware of ourselves at such an age, but it's never too late to rediscover each other. I know it's hard to love someone else, but if you don't love yourself either, but who else would you love than me?
Oh,
I love that, Aniko. That is
oh,
wonderful.
Slow down a bit and be together. And Peggy, I think what we have accomplished with KGUA Writers, and I say we, all of us, is the topics are always in our heads. So we're always thinking. So anybody who hasn't written this week, write a love letter to yourself. And we're always thinking because the voices in our head rarely quiet down.
Well, here's a voice from somebody's head. Whoa. I have that dreaded spinning ball. Here we go.
Bright enough to know you didn't do this on your own. I think, Peggy, again, I'm not going to say this out loud to anybody but you, but maybe we should have Dan as a guest host because he's really dying to be a disc jockey.
Well, you never know. That might happen. But I thought it would only be fair if Hannah Worthamel got her say next.
That's right.
A love letter to myself. Dear Hannah B, or now as we know her, Hannah Banana, but
Hannah Banana, right? Oh, wow. And now we're here from Hannah Banana.
I think someone else has a desire to be a DJ. Dear Hannah B, they say you can't love anyone else until you love yourself. How's that working for you? Do you love yourself? Haven't you always been taught not to be so full of yourself? Or told, don't think you're anything special. Always put others' needs ahead of your own. I'd like to remind you that each of us is someone very extra special. Each of us is a one and only ever creation. As hesitant as I am to bring him into it, I truly believe that we are all God's kids. And as a pastor friend of mine once said, God doesn't make no junk. I know, because I know you best, that you've struggled with feeling worthy all your life. Oh, you can preach a good sermon, but it means little or nothing if you don't practice it. I know too that you would agree it helps. Think of all of those who love you without condition. You know who they are. If that doesn't convince you of your worthiness, I'm not sure what will. Think every time a baby is born, totally loved and lovable. That was you. That's still you. Life has a way of grabbing a hold of us, but through it all, remember this from Lao Tzu. To love somebody deeply gives you strength. Being loved deeply by someone gives you courage. Now go out and be lovable and let others love you. Be strong, have courage, be awkward too. And at the first of each month, let me know how it's working for you.
I love that.
Always lead with love, Hannah C. Well, we are off to such a good start and we only got 30 minutes left.
Well, you know how all of these are leading into the prompt we talked about for next week. Have you read Lao Tzu?
No.
I have the book by my bedside, and it's a great reminder, Hannah, to go back to those little sayings and remind ourselves. And now we know why Dan loves you so much.
That's right. And we're lucky to have the lucky couple. Another voice, and then we'll have Mark read. So let's go to voice number 3.
Wow, there's this theme of slowing down that's just coming out
Mm.
literally in those words.
And naturally, a lot of people writing these are also slowing down at the ages that we all are. Mark, why don't you read a couple? We haven't heard
Okay,
you
we've
read.
got another new writer from Ukiah, Kate Gaston. Thank you and welcome. Dear Simple Fool, we have slid through a year of complicated minimalism. Big things disappeared, small things took hold, these tiny, teeny, eternally repeating chores, and in between, 1,000 movies on cable. These absorbed the slowed passage of time. Did we accomplish anything other than just surviving? Did we lose weight, create a masterpiece, publish, march, build a movement, change the course of history? Others did, some even winning elections and pushing back at the darkness. Now, must I admit it? We are so tired of our own conversation, our constant observations of the daily news, the same every friggin' day. Masks worn and hands washed, crossing to the other side of the street, mumbling comments at 12 feet distance to neighbors on walks. These all took over from other things. What were those other things? Can we remember? Gatherings. We lived for them, didn't we? We were once so good at them. All our hard work and planning hidden from view. That was our intent. Remember how we used to have intent? Not this meandering and rambling and lack of purpose. Purpose. Remember purpose? Causes, events, public meetings, swelling the museum, the playhouse, the plaza, the galleries, music in the parks, the fundraising for all the worthy organizations we have loved, supported in their mission. What had happened to them the last 16 months? And others, our small businesses and local services? If they had banged it out all these months, well, it gives us thought, doesn't it? So raise a glass or a pen, and my dearly beloved, you, me, take a deep breath, gaze out at all our world, my world, the world's world, and we'll begin again. Love you, me, for showing up.
Kate Gaston, Kate C. Gaston, thank you so much. Please join us again. Really enjoyed your thoughts. I mean, there was so much in there. I loved,
So
our mumbling at each other from 2 feet.
well, hey, Peggy, across
David,
the street
right.
mumbling,
David, did I just call you David? How did
You
that
did call
happen?
me David.
Wow.
You did.
Well,
I could be David.
Mark is good. Mark is.
I can
Hey,
talk-
Mark, you had a bear in your yard.
I had a bear in my yard. That was the video going around.
Wow.
Billy
I'm
woke
not
up
kidding.
and-
He had probably a yearling bear, not a cub,
Well,
not a
it
full
was
grown.
funny. I love this neighborhood. Billy wakes me up and says, "Look at our video," and I'm waiting for a jackrabbit or a raccoon. I said, "Oh my goodness, it's a bear!" And we sent it out, and gotta love Jeannie Jackson. She writes back, "That's such a beautiful bear. It's a bear in my driveway."
That's right. She wants a screenshot of that bear too.
Yeah, we had a bear. Hasn't been back yet. My dogs bark at UPS and FedEx and anybody that walks by, but the bear, they slept through. It's great.
Great. Hey, why don't you read another one?
Let's see. I'm going to read Lori Young
Great.
from Desert Hot Springs. Unexpurgated love. Kentucky, you are my sacred baby in the forest of dark enchantment, lost child, samurai alone in the night. It is you I love and have always loved. It is you who were abandoned and left to die in a place that was known for hungry wolves and evil witches. Witch, you hag, you remnant of human kindness, meditating in the cave to find your inner night, to find your inner light, to find out you were right all along. You alone possess the strength and effortless wisdom to accept the gift, the helpless child left to perish, the golden boy child who became a hero of the people. Somewhat rotund, somewhat comical, and round. Your colors do not fade, but blare like trumpet blasts across the universe. It is you, the child, and free spirit who I love. You are me, as we are one along the apple tree road, taking us heavenward and setting the motion into stillness, into life. I love you in all your aspects and behaviors, your feelings, thoughts, words, poems, and loves. I love what you love. You are me. Wow.
Okay. What is Kentucky? Who is Kentucky or Kentucky?
You're going to put me on the spot. I don't even have my phone to Google it.
Oh, okay. Because Lori, thank you so much. I mean,
I know
obviously,
Kontiki, if it was spelled as an old boat, right?
it's not an old boat, and she just has some other references. The Apple Tree Road is another. Anyway, so thank you, Lori. We're gonna have to look that up and find out
I think it
who
has
it
to do with
is.
the child samurai alone in the night.
Ah,
And
okay.
the prompt next week is who is Kentucky? No, isn't Kentucky a state?
I thought that, and I thought, wow, I wonder if that's where the state's name came from. I really did, but that's
We're just
where my
having
mind.
fun. Thanks, Lori. That was awesome.
Leanne is just taking over. I'm not sure why. We're going to go to voice number 4. Leanne, I just need to hit voice number 4, and then you can have the thing back. I don't know what she's asking me here. Okay, here we go. Let's hear this voice.
You know, it's interesting what Mary said. You know how we feel about Mary Mowbray, her writing, and the evolution of her writing. The quiet contemplation to deal with the hard stuff, the blending of quiet and hard, quiet time to dig into the difficult. It's an interesting thought to take our quiet time to sit with the hard stuff, in every part of life. So thank you, Mary. It's a thought that will resonate for me personally.
We could talk about that for quite a bit, but we're moving forward. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Leanne, for reminding us that we got carried away here. Hey, and while we were going through all of that, because we're always multitasking here, of course, I did look up Kentucky or Kentucky or Kentucky, I believe. It doesn't tell me how to pronounce it.
I
Oh
would
no,
say,
this is Kintaro.
well, no, but you looked up Kentucky. It's close enough, we
Is a
think.
fictional character. Ah, it is, and it's an anime. Kentucky is an alternate character of Sakata Gintoki and was the main antagonist of, oh boy, Gintama arc.
I love putting Peggy on the spot with another. This is great. Keep going, Peggy. Now I'm totally confused.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you. Now you got us. Now at least we know that one. Wow. Okay, Sue
I
Miller.
knew that.
You knew it was going to be Sue Miller?
Yep. Yep.
I did, and I had to print it twice because Sue likes to write, it likes to print things really large. And on the air, of course, it means a lot of paper. Well, anyway, that's, what do you care? It's our problem.
It's radio. Nobody sees what you're doing.
Nobody.
You look great as a purple-haired person today.
I would love this purple hair.
Wow.
I find this exercise awkward. So I will have my imaginary lover, companion, the person who loves me through thick and thin, write me a love letter. Susan, you are so beautiful. I love your curly dark hair with silver streaks, your shining brown eyes. Your eyes twinkle when you are happy. I love the way you look at situations in a unique way. I love your sense of humor. Sometimes you have an edge, maybe a bit sarcastic, but I love the way you tell a story. I don't think I've ever met someone so kind. You care for the homeless, the disenfranchised, the children who have no voice. I remember when you befriended a homeless couple and let them shower, washed their clothes, and fed them a meal. Susan, I know you're going through a hard time being isolated. You were lonely many days. I loved what you did today. You walked and then baked about 5 dozen chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal, coconut, and brownie cookies for the residents of the Palms, a veteran and homeless hotel. You also made chicken soup. I know you give a lot away when you see the need. I know your day began a bit rough. Some almond extract fell over, opened and spilled on your mini pot holders, microwave, and 2 kitchen cupboards. You didn't let that stop you. You cleaned it up and moved on and did not tell anyone. Susan, I know you love the night herons in Spring Lake Park. I think I saw you 2 or 3 this morning when you walked with your friend Romaine. You love your garden, the birds in your yard, the hummingbirds who go to your feeder. You are beginning to see some beautiful butterflies. Susan, I wish you find new friends and rekindle old friendships so you have partners to walk with, share meals with, walk on the beach with, and have a picnic. Be patient, my love. It will all work out.
Sue, you're awesome, and she's done such hard work with incarcerated and animals. She's just, I do have a question though, Peggy. She said she walked with Romaine. Do you think she said, let us be together?
Oh, bada boom. Ugh. Sorry. So sorry that he did that, but he couldn't help it.
Can you go to set 6? Is that possible? Shift a little bit.
Set 6. Okay, I can do that.
I want to personally thank the writer of this piece because it is so beautifully insightful.
Are you going to thank them now or after?
I'm going to thank them after because I think they're identified.
Okay, here we go. So we just have two left. Mhm.
Sure.
Mhm. I love that.
You know, Tempera board, thanks for coming back. Tempera's been writing for the past year off and on, and it's great to have you back with that message. And
So-
I just want to cite, you know, you were set on your path of meanness to be yourself. Don't even know how, and I'll tell you, you know how, Tempera. You know how.
All of those, I had a therapist who always would say, you've been too shit upon.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that is awesome.
I mean,
Wow.
I know that's what therapists are for. And
Did that cost you $150 just to hear that line?
probably less than that, but yes, and
You
much
paid-
more.
You paid to hear that?
That therapist saved my life.
I know that feeling.
That therapist literally saved my life.
Well, it's good
So
because you have
that's-
a wonderful life.
Oh, is that another prompt?
No,
It's a
honeymoon.
Wonderful
It's
Life?
a honeymoon. It's what's his name? Jimmy Stewart movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
We're going all over the place. Okay.
We are. And, everybody is admitting how easy it is to say negative things about ourselves.
Isn't that something? And it's interesting when you just said something and you didn't even say it. We talk about relevance to everybody else and your stories. And you can see I'm not doing this in advance. I'm writing on the bandwagon. Talk about the different meanings on the bandwagon has. Tempera said, I think something about getting on the love bandwagon. And you were just 35 years sober. Isn't that a term, being on the bandwagon when people go sober? Or something like that.
I think you're falling off the wagon.
Oh,
is
falling
more-
off the wagon. Okay, well,
That's all right. It's close, but getting back
it's-
on the wagon, or
I had a
it's
little
a good.
red wagon. I'm sorry. Okay. Wow, the coffee this morning.
You know,
Okay.
this oxygen on this coast is really affecting.
It
Mark.
is. It is.
It is. So
It is.
I'm gonna read
The last
Anonymous
piece.
Girl.
The last
And we have
piece.
one voice
And
left.
one voice.
Anonymous Girl. I don't know why I said that. Lowered my throat and Lloyd my voice. Anonymous Girl. Anonymous Girl. The newest chapter of my life appears to be leading the charge for a simple pride parade and lobbying on behalf of critical race theory in a small town that seems to have frozen comfortably in the MacArthur area. Well, I have to stop right there and say that is quite the sentence.
That is a sentence.
I could stop there, but no. People keep praising me for simply speaking up and speaking out. I am learning the hard way that there are reasons that people here don't, but I'm just too stubborn to keep my mouth shut. My grandfather, a man barely 5'8", who had to put weights in his shoes to be able to enlist, fought Nazis in World War II. His daughter, my mother, had to fight for a chance to take a welding class in 1970, and then had to fight to be able to wear pants to that welding class. His mother, my great-grandmother, was stranded as a young woman from her homeland of Germany during World War I. There is nothing in my DNA that would forgive me for not standing up to a bunch of simple-minded racists and homophobes. So I am. And that's what I love about myself, the courage of my ancestors and their faith in me.
Every line in this is thought-provoking for a conversation. There is nothing in my DNA that would forgive me for not standing up. But I have to say, weights in the shoes to enlist to fight the Nazis.
Mhm.
Putting weights in the shoes. Who would even think of that without a passion to do good?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Anonymous Girl.
Absolutely. Thank you. And one more voice?
Yeah, I want to say, so we added a bonus prompt this week when we delayed the show from last week. And I just thought of very quickly, Memorial Day. And what battle do you remember somebody fighting or losing? And Dave Stoloff responded.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you know Dave Stoloff's wife's name?
Beloved.
Thank you.
I love that, beloved. I don't know her name, do we?
I think, sorry, Dave, if I'm wrong, it might be Debbie. I think because we did a Zoom once, but it is Beloved. So Dave, you just coined it. Your wife's name is Beloved.
And we love that.
We love that. Isn't that
Absolutely. I
awesome?
was just thinking, would you call Billy your beloved? Would I be calling Susan my beloved? Would
No.
we do that?
Would you?
Probably not.
What would you be calling Susan? Oh. Hi, Susan. We love you. Beloved. I'll call you beloved on the air right now. And my husband, Billy, of course.
You know,
He's my anchor, if you have a guest.
that's right. That's right. The anchor, the backbone, or not the backbone.
He's my anchor. And,
I think his
and
anchor is
I'm
the
the
right way.
boat. And if I didn't have an anchor, you know.
He's the feather, actually. He's
You
the
know,
balloon.
I don't know.
He's the balloon
I don't know
without
how
an
to set the
anchor.
sails. I need an anchor or a kite, whatever.
Balloon. He is
But
the kite.
thank you.
Anyway, what a great show today. And there's so
Awesome.
much. And I did want to add, about Memorial Day and all the people that have died. And I remember, he just talked about virtual wars. Do you remember, if you were a Star Trek fan, the original Star Trek, when they went to a planet where people were having virtual wars?
No, I don't.
And it was quite as often those Star Trek shows were, but it was very profound. And Kirk and Spock were so appalled because they were just playing war. And so they took their virtual toys away from them, and they
Wow.
said, okay, now go kill these people. And they couldn't.
Wow. It goes back, and I don't know what I'm lifting from who's writing or reading today, but sometimes our smallest battles are our biggest battles, and we've all had them. Sometimes our battles are daily battles. Sometimes they're bigger battles. But one anonymous girl writes, it's in our DNA to fight back. That's something to think about, because what you just said, the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas, they're just voices. Put weights in your shoes and march forward. And I'm just picking up from everybody. So I think this was an awesome prompt with incredibly honest, transparent writers who shared stories. And like I said, you're sharing this story with your baby steps of writing, or your leaps is helping somebody follow you that can't necessarily take that step.
And look at KGUA Writers, how many new people you inspired to write this week. We've had new writers, we have some recurring writers, but letting these thoughts out, and honestly, it is so amazing.
Well,
As writers, you and I are writers,
right.
Different writers,
Right.
but
finding the prompts. I just finished my first class at Mendocino Arts Center, and we talk about structure. And I finally realized free write is a structure. And if you build up the prompts, look at the simple prompts to the prompts now. What word are you to write a love letter to yourself over 59 weeks? We start to get people comfortable with writing their thoughts. And I will say, as I've said it before, everybody, please keep writing, because what you're writing is not your own story, but somebody else's that you're helping take a step. Thank you. Which leads me to, you go ahead.
No, I was just, it's absolutely true. The stories, whether they were this week or last week, or, from the beginning, there's some listener out there that it's touching. Well, it's somebody that maybe feels they can't write, but it doesn't matter whether they can write or not. What it's doing, it's probably spurring some change.
And this is why the deadlines get stretched. And the written pieces are okay. We can always add them. The recorded ones are more challenging. But this is why people say, it's like Daphne wrote, I just woke up this morning, I had to do this, because it's sitting and you don't want to squelch that courage to write it. So we try to get that in. So thank you. And Tempera was everyone. And I will tell you, and I will keep thinking about not calling Susan and Billy beloved.
I know. Well, it's just not, I guess, part of our vocabulary, but
is it part of their vocabulary?
I don't know, probably.
Would Susan call you her beloved? Don't answer now. You're on the air.
I don't know. I don't know. and
Well, we
know
love
that.
you. We love you. Okay, the prompt for next week on this theme of continuing going is we're in Pride Month,
Mhm.
and it's interesting. We're also taking off our masks during Pride Month. Imagine if somebody said to you, Peggy, what masks have you worn in your life that you can take off now?
So many.
Right? We don't even.
It's easy for me to say that now.
Now. Well, I keep on thinking to Smokey Robinson, The Miracles. If there's a smile upon my face, it's only there trying to fool the public. But when it comes down to fooling you, now that's quite a different subject. The tears of a clown. So we want you to think about, what mask have you not removed? What mask have you worn to survive? What mask do you maybe still wear during the day or don't wear anymore? What does mask mean to you in your life now?
Who is that masked man?
Who is Zorro?
No, the Lone Ranger.
Oh, the Lone
Well,
Ranger.
Zorro works too.
Well, and the Phantom of the Opera. I was thinking about all
Ooh,
these masks as I
yeah.
was running today, or Halloween, or those big masquerade balls. What are we hiding? What does a mask allow us to hide? And going back to what people wrote, our beauty inside is behind that mask. Let's share that. So what mask are you still wearing or have taken off?
Another good one. Boy, he's pushing, isn't he? He's really pushing us on this.
I'm pushing because we had 14 or 15 writers. If our 14 or 15 writers can help 14 or 15 other people share their feelings, we're doing it, Peggy.
Mhm.
KGUA Writers, you're doing it.
KGUA Writers. I just love the sound of that. And as so many people do, our beloved KGUA Writers.
KGUA Writers.
Thank you so much. We are almost out of time. Our beloved wing woman is already behind the scenes. She's getting ready to head us out of town down to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So as always, Mark,
Awesome.
awesome. And it's awesome to have you back here
I
in
love
the
it.
studio.
I love it. It's
You know,
great. And
and-
writers start. We'll do a pop-up somewhere this week. Stay
Good.
tuned.
But if you live locally, Mark has been doing pop-ups, and so they've been having a great time doing all kinds of wonderful pop-ups. And okay, Leanne, I'm ready. We're going to say goodbye and thank you. This is KGUA in Molalla, 88.3 FM. It's time for us to head to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Native America Calling. And we're waiting for them to show up. Come on, Native American.